Rise and shine, my people. Welcome back to the channel. This is Evan Aga at the Astrophysique. In today's video, we will be discussing whether or not I think it's possible for you to win the Alphalete Summer Shredding Classic as a natural. Stick with me. We're going to open up this conversation to an even broader sense and discuss whether or not I think it's possible for you to win the Olympia as a natural. Let's get into it. In one of my previous summer shredding videos, I had mentioned the level of competition at these Alphalete shows as a reason for you to not compete. I didn't say that to discourage anyone, more so just make you aware of the level of competition you will be facing at these Alphalete shows, which has progressively gotten more difficult over the years based on what I've seen. On top of that, summer shredding is not a tested show, so there are most certainly guys out there planning to compete who are on steroids. Based on everything I'm saying, you might not think it would be possible for someone who's not on steroids to come in and win the show. And I don't blame you for thinking that way, but with that opinion, I strongly disagree. Not only do I think it's possible for someone to come in and win summer shredding as a natural, I think it's realistic too. I don't think it's too far-fetched of an opinion, and I don't think it's completely out of the question. I don't think you have to get lucky. I don't think you need a miracle from God. I think it's possible, and I think it's pretty realistic too. Granted, it depends on the individual we're talking about here. I know I could do it myself if I put my foot on the gas and I really went for it. I know I could do it, and I'm a natural, of course. And I'm sure there are others like me who could also go in and win the show as a natural because of their training experience, their foundation, their muscle maturity, their conditioning, all these factors that go into building a great physique, which have nothing to do with natty or not. And let me explain. If you take someone who's been training for 10 years with proper foundations and principles along the way, they've stayed natural, they've done the work, they've achieved that muscle maturity, which only comes with time, but they've hit that muscle maturity and they know their body, they understand their body, they know how to take themselves through a prep, they know how different foods affect them, they just know their body. This is the type of individual I'm talking about who really has the best chance to win this show as a natural. It's going to be a seasoned, experienced, and veteran individual when it comes to diet and training who's able to pull this off. I'm not saying it's going to be some kid who's just been lifting for a year and decides to do this show. By all means, do the show. I don't want to discourage you. But as a natural, with only 1 year of training under your belt, you will be facing up against really the best of the best at this point. This show is attracting the best competitors. Is it still possible for you to win the show, or at least win your class as a natural in this show? Even if you're just a beginner? Sure, I'm not going to say it's impossible. Is it realistic? Probably not. But for myself, or even someone like myself, I don't want to make this about me, but for someone like myself who's been training for as long as I have, who has good genetics, who has good work ethic, of course, and they have the belief, I think it's possible and I think it's realistic too. Now let's open this up to a broader discussion, because I actually had this question asked under one of my videos. Somebody asked if it's possible to win the Olympia without steroids. What do I think? Yeah, I think it's possible. And I even made that comment as a response, which sparked somewhat of an argument in my comment section, which I don't mind at all, by the way. I'm all for you guys having conversations, respectful arguments in the comment section, and you can bet I will get involved as well and share my 2 cents. I do my best to respond to every comment. I see each and every single one of you. I appreciate this community we are building brick by brick, person by person, individual by individual, and I'm so grateful for you all. But anyway, back to the main point. We were having this conversation in my comment section, and I thought it'd be a good idea for a video and something to bring up here now. I do think it's possible for somebody to win Mr. Olympia as a natural. Now, let me clarify a few things here. I am not talking about open bodybuilding. I'm not talking about classic physique. I'm not talking about any of that women's stuff. I don't even know what their categories are. I'm talking about men's physique. I think it's possible for someone to win Mr. Olympia as a natural in men's physique. Do I think it's realistic? That's a different question. When it comes to summer shredding, I do think it's realistic for a specific type of individual to win that show as a natural. For the Olympia, I can't say it's realistic, but I will definitely say it's possible. Without a shred of doubt, I think it's possible to win Mr. Olympia as a natural without any steroids. Now you might be wondering, what does it take? What kind of individual can come in and compete with these monsters and win this show naturally? Well, like I said before, it takes a certain special type of individual, an especially special type of individual, much like myself, if I do say so. Just kidding. Not really, but kind of. I don't even know. Look, it takes someone with guts, that's for sure. It takes someone with heart. It takes someone with belief. If you're sitting there thinking there's no way it's possible for someone to win the show as a natural, then you don't even stand a chance. You have to believe it first. You have to really deep within your heart and your soul, you have to believe that this is possible despite the odds, despite everyone in the comment section of this video who are going to be roasting me and calling me an idiot for what I think. Regardless of all that, you have to take what people think and accept it as the limits they're putting on themselves, not you. Don't accept what they say is your limit. You decide what your limit is. If you think you can do it, then by all means, do it and prove everyone wrong. I always say, if people aren't calling you crazy, if people aren't saying that's impossible, then what you're setting out to do can't really be that great. If everybody thinks it's possible, if everybody thinks, yeah, sure, he can do it, then it must not be that big of a deal. The way I know what I'm doing is special, the way I know what I'm doing is great, is when everyone around me thinks I'm insane. When everyone around me thinks, oh, you can't do it, because really they think they can't do it, and they want to project that on you. That's how you know you're on the right track. That's how you know you're doing something extraordinary. It's not even about proving others wrong. It's not even about doing it just because someone else thinks it's impossible. That's not what it's about. I mean, you have to have your own reason for doing it. Forget about what anyone else thinks or says. You still have to have your own reason for it to really be worth it. I know I'm going to have some haters in the comments, and that's completely fine. I could not care less. The thing is, I know this take is a wild one. I know what I'm saying sounds crazy. And let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen, I wouldn't have it any other way. It would take a certain especially special individual to go out and achieve this, but it all starts with the mindset and the mentality of first believing it's possible. That's all it takes. All you need is a vision. You don't need trend, you don't need test, you don't need anavar, you don't need cleanse, you don't need any of that junk. You don't need any of it. All you need is a vision. I'm telling you right now, that's where it starts. Whatever you want to achieve, whether it's winning the Olympia as a natural, winning summer shredding as a natural, getting a promotion at your job, whatever you're doing, all you need is a vision. You have to believe it first before you can see it. I remember when I was first getting into the gym, I was a skinny young man, and I'd be training and I'd be looking in the mirror and I would be imagining myself jacked. I'd be looking in the mirror and I'd be seeing my chest, my biceps, my shoulders, the way I wanted them to look. Not how they presently looked at the moment. I'm talking about I saw them how I wanted them to look. And little by little, slowly but steadily, I made that progress. And one day I looked into the mirror and I was the version of myself I had been foreseeing for so long. I was no longer that skinny kid. I had achieved the image that I had seen for myself long before I actually made it happen. It's the power of vision. It's the power of belief. I truly think that is the essence and the source of all great power and every great accomplishment. It all starts with belief. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for all your support. I want this to be an open discussion, so please don't hesitate to leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Even if it goes against what I'm saying, I invite and welcome all opinions. Again, thank you so much. I appreciate all your support in my journey, and I'll see you in the next one. Shoot for the stars.